Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Honestly, this sounds like a win-win. Just the owner was too dumb to see it. You guys both learned good lessons with this. Also, OP got great pocket money. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. My first paying job, and the person thought they would be clever paying me. I've always been interested in electronics and did a lot of reading and studying on my own. And I was very good at buying things at swap meets and repairing them and reselling them as a teen. My first real paying job, a friend of my mom knew a guy who ran a place that supplied answering machines to businesses. They were new tech back at that point in time. She said he was desperate for someone who could fix them as he had ones with issues spilling over the shelves, so I went to see him. It was an interesting meeting, a middle-aged businessman and me. I was, 15 or so. We kinda eye each other and he asked me if I can fix them. I was pretty sure I could, and when he pulled out the service manuals for them, he had a couple that were based on the same base. I was quite sure. So he asked me what I wanted an hour, and I was used to getting $3 an hour for watching the kiddo next door on occasion, so I asked for that. He pondered for a minute and made me an offer I could not refuse. $10 cash for each one I fix. I quickly agree and stop by after school the next day with my tools to dig in. The next day I show up and he takes me in the back, and sure enough he has a couple big sets of industrial shelves overflowing with the things. I start pulling them off and looking at them. He gives me a smile and drifts off and leaves me to it. I quickly discovered this guy had no tech skills whatsoever. None. Nada. Most of them had a brainlessly simple problem. The outgoing message was kept on a big loose loop of tape with a metallic splice at the end and beginning that went past two posts, and that told the thing the tape had went all the way around and to stop and turn the cassette recorder for the incoming message. The splices and the post got dirty and didn't make good contact, and the tape would just go on forever. About 3 minutes with some alcohol and a Q-tip cleaning those parts as well as the other things in the tape path not only had them going again, but sounding like new. I cleaned the front panels up with some spray cleaner and hit the wooden cases with some lemon pledge, and they looked like new. I spent more time carefully coiling up the power cords than repairing them, and when I was done, they looked and sounded like new. The owner came back to check on me a couple hours later to see if I was going to be able to crank one out for him that night, and I pointed to a pile of 5 or so and told him to check them out. His eyes just about popped out of his head. I got near 10 done a night for a while. It did slow down a bit once I got the easy ones knocked out, but I just kept picking the low-hanging fruit and learning more and more about them and getting deeper and deeper into them. He also had units coming in all the time, so I did still have some easy ones mixed in with the bunch. I thought he was going to soil himself when we settled up at the end of the first week. I'd spent like 3 afternoons there and got nearly 30 of them fixed. It was a really good payday. He was not super happy with our agreement, but he'd proposed it, and he had someone who was kicking butt getting them fixed, so he was cornered into honoring it. It wasn't lost on him that he could have been paying me like $12 a night, and I would have been happy with that, but he thought he'd get the better of me. And our second story. A family of idiots. Witnessed some stupid crap while sitting my butt down waiting for my meds at a pharmacy a few days ago. Made me remember a lot of crap, and having to lay back a few hours a day to keep my knee elevated didn't help since I couldn't do much. Not even sleep in that position. Just something to note, farm techs are not allowed to give people recommendations here in Canada. You don't pull on people, especially from their lanyards. It was a fine sunny afternoon on a weekday. Well, considering the lack of rain and the insanely hot summer, it's kinda expected. So as I hobbled my way into the pharmacy after my doc appointment, the pharmacist, seeing my condition, knew exactly what I needed, found out her boyfriend had something similar happen when we chatted, and pretty much expedited my prescription. The other customers didn't seem to mind since I was visibly in pain. We exchanged pleasantries and stuff. Then Mark, not our antagonist, but dude's awesome, enters the store, drops his prescription, and browses around. The store's literally 2 long walls with chairs in the middle, where I was sitting my fat butt down at the moment. In comes Rude B, RB. screaming into the phone, walking up and down the painkiller section of the wall. The pharmacist at that point went to the back to receive their afternoon shipment, leaving the two techs to fill the prescription and look after the store. I don't remember the exact words, but I do remember the contents of the conversation. It goes something like this. RB, yo, what should I give a baby with a fever? Tech 1, do you have a doctor's prescription? RB, hell no, can't waste time waiting for that. Now, what do I need, baby aspirin? Got them cough syrup that puts him to sleep? Tech 1, I can't say. I really recommend you bring your kid to the doctor to check it up, though. RB kept asking some really stupid questions and made some stupid claims for a while. The rest of us guys, customers, were just shaking our heads. The second tech finished filling two patients' prescriptions at this point and let us know that the pharmacist just needed to sign off on it and we'd be good to go. I was the second. RB at this point started calling Tech 1 an ignorant bee and started repeating her questions at Tech 2. Mark at this point was like, whoa, cool it, all right? Tech 1 told RB to wait for the pharmacist to come back to ask her questions, but repeat what Tech 1 said about bringing the kid to the doctor, or even the ER if it's serious. About to blow lid, Mark to the rescue again and go in between RB and the techs. The mood got awkward. One of the customers went to use the washroom, middle-aged, soft-spoken guy, Paul, victim, and star, fit as hell and was pleasant to talk and was shooting the crap with me about potential treatments and crap I should do about my knee, pretty much the same as what my doc told me, as well as saying avoid icing it unless it hurts real bad. Us guys started talking about random crap to get back the pleasant mood. At this point, RB started blasting some crappy music from her phone. Couldn't tell if it was intentionally done to F with us, but it pretty much made small talk impossible. Her phone rang, starts yelling into the phone. Paul came out of washroom. The pharmacist pops back behind the counter to grab something before heading to the back and asks Tech 1 to go help bring a crate to the counter. For some inexplicable reason, RB thought Paul was the pharmacist or something, or thought he's a doc or something, assuming her overheard us before she blasted her crap. Starts complaining at him while the poor guy couldn't get in a word and he was backing off and got cornered since RB was poking him in the chest. Something didn't feel right since the guy started looking a little pale and shaking a little. I don't know why, but all of us kind of just froze since it was so absurd and didn't do a thing to intervene. Paul finally had enough and told RB to leave him alone since he doesn't work here and tried to walk around her. RB starts screaming at the poor man. He then yanked him by his lanyard that was tucked inside his shirt, effectively choking him, as in his neck got visibly dragged back from my perspective. The guy's face turned completely red above his neckline, his eyes just glazed over, and then, for a lack of a better term, beat the crap out of RB and would have probably killed her if she didn't turtle up after the first punch. As in a 1-2, then onto a mount when she fell over and threw a few more punches before Mark tackled and hugged Paul and kept screaming, "It's okay, it's safe, look," and some other crap I don't remember. RB was screaming about how her baby's daddy is going to kick Paul's butt since he's working at Canadian Forces Armory, and general mouthing off and calling Mark and a bunch of profanity that would put a sailor to shame. Cops were called by either the pharmacist or Tech 2. I didn't really pay attention. Paul really wasn't looking good at all, and I tried to help but got stopped by Mark, who told us to give the man some space. The cops arrived super quick, like a minute quick, probably. Had one parked at the Plaza Mall opposite the road or something, but it was so fast that all of us were giving each other a WTF look when the cops stormed in. There were splats of blood on the floor, all from RB. Mark was hugging the crap out of Paul that was still shaking while RB was still screaming how no one's helping her while holding her bleeding nose and swearing a lot. Ignorant seems to be her favorite word, though, since that's like there every 2 sentences. RB's tune changed as soon as the cops started asking questions and broke into tears. Fake, if you ask me. Think they called for an ambulance at some point, just remembered seeing it on my way out. Gave a statement to the cops, and we were let go. RB started screaming at us for calling us effing, insert racial slur, liars. For the record, bleep bleep doesn't really insult us bleeps. We're more annoyed at the dumb Fs stupid enough to say it, thinking it's an insult. For telling them exactly what happened, I think a cop went into the store's back room to check the security video since they had her in cuffs before I hobbled my way out of the store. Paul turns out to be a veteran, was suffering a PTSD episode, and Mark knew exactly what was happening. Why the title if it's just RB? Well, I finally recognized her for who she was when I was released and saw her mom showed up, who also happened to be on our ban list when I was interning working in retail years ago. RB has 2 brothers, one of which was my classmate. All I can say is I hope Child Service take away her kid ASAP and hope my classmate disowned his family after high school. His family did a lot of stupid crap, from teacher-parent conference to stealing from the till right under the camera. I sincerely hope Paul won't get into trouble, but given the evidence, witnesses and video, he shouldn't be. At least I haven't gotten contacted by the cops for more information as of yet. Mark's fast thinking probably saved RB's life, though. Guy was hella fast with his tackle as well. I can easily imagine RB being effed up, comatose or worse, had Paul's punches landed right. Mark is a effing hero. And I bet a good man. Someone buy him a drink. And our last story. HOA says I owe them $5,000 for no reason. Basically, the HOA put a $5,000 assessment on my account with no explanation. They refuse to discuss it or tell me what it's for. They've excluded me and all others who allegedly owe money from all community events, committees, etc., and are now threatening to foreclose, which is not in the CC&Rs at all. I'm going to contact a real estate lawyer in the morning. If he can't help, specifically, he should be able to point me in the right direction. Update. I spoke with a real estate attorney. He said I need a litigator and referred me to one he uses a lot for real estate issues. Had a meeting with the litigator who thinks this can hopefully be dealt with an aggressive letter. He said he's going to include a C&D, case law, and a precedent, so I hope he's right. Interestingly, he said 20% of his firm's jobs are litigating against HOAs for people. He's very against HOAs himself and said this entire thing is patently unreasonable. So it does seem like he's the right guy for the job. Update 2. The real estate litigator sent a C&D and we're not paying this, as well as a stop harassing letter today. They have 3 days to respond. Update 3. The fine was canceled and they finally got off my back. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.